Hello and good morning and welcome back to Simply Gregster EV. Today we're taking the Mini Cooper electric on about a 500 kilometer drive. We're going out to Ottawa to an electric car meet, and we've done a lot of car reviews on this channel already. I just want to go out and have some fun with this video. Haven't driven the Mini in a while. We've been mostly driving the Fiat, which is actually right next to me. So we'll take the Mini out. It's back from the dealer after the recall, and we'll see how she drives. It's been a really long time since I've taken this car out anywhere far. So let's get into it. So let's unplug. We've been running the air conditioning in it for probably the last 20 minutes. We'll just go put this over here. Don't mind the garbage. We'll do that. Let's close up this garage door. Where is my remote? Probably in the car. All right, let's jump in the car. The cabin cooling was definitely running on it. Let's start it up. Let's close the garage door. That will select me. So we're sitting here. I just want to make sure the radio is off so it's not playing anything. All right, so we're sitting at 100% state of charge. The car is almost at 22,000 kilometers now. We've had it roughly for about almost 2 years already. It's been absolutely fantastic. Let's see where we are headed. We are headed to an Abia Cupcake Cafe in Ottawa. So it's showing 196 kilometers, 2 hours, 6 minutes of driving. I don't know if we're going to go that route because I know this car, getting to Ottawa with that 163 kilometers of indicated range, we're probably not going to do it. I know this car well. We'll probably, there's charging here in Rigaud somewhere. 50 kilowatts fine on this car. That's maximum speed. But the issue here is that this is all the way near the 416. So what I think we're going to do is we'll drive along the 401. We'll charge up here in Lancaster somewhere, just top it up, and we'll continue up and go up the 416. I checked before. Google was saying roughly 2.5 hours going this way, but I think it's just a lot less headaches. So let's get on the road. Reset the trip meter. So it's now showing 0 kilometers. So I think we'll take the 401 that way. As I said, we have to end up on the western side of Ottawa near the 416. So that's going to be a lot easier just taking the 416. It might add a bit more time, but I don't feel like driving through all those residential areas and stop and start. The garage door is closed. Perfect. Now I don't want this to be the usual road trip video where there's 45 minutes of background music. Some of you have mentioned that they can't get through the music, so we'll try to keep it old school vlog style without any background music. As the Mini itself, the Mini's been great. We've had it, like I said, roughly 2 years already. No issues with it whatsoever. We just did that battery recall thing that I covered in a previous video. But no, it's been absolutely solid. So let's get here on the road. We'll get on the road and we'll hit up our first charging station. Just checking in now. We're averaging 15.2 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And we have traveled 39 kilometers, 80% state of charge. Like I said, we've been hammering it. It was quite foggy before, quite good. We have the Out of Spec podcast actually going on here. I'm a bit behind on the Out of Spec podcast, but everything's going good here. I think we'll be heading to Lancaster to charge. It is absolutely beautiful outside. Normally I don't film with the handheld camera in the car, but hey, why not today? We got the GoPro set up. We got our coffee. Everything is good here. So we made it to our little top-up charging stop. We're here in Lancaster, Ontario right now at the Circle K site that is actually broken once again. That post is broken like usual. ABB always be broken. Plugged in at 61%. We'll just have the camera flipped around here. There we go. Nice and flipped around. So we've only been charging for about 4 minutes already. We're still pulling 48 kilowatts. That's something that's nice on this car. It will hold its almost maximum charging speed throughout the up until about 80-85%. So we're going to go up here to about 80-85% and we'll continue on our way. I think it's better to rip it, as in speed, stop and charge for a bit and continue going, because it'll actually be a lot faster versus doing a deep charge on this car, which takes about half an hour or so to do a deep charge. So these little hit and run sessions are what I prefer doing. So we'll stay here, and BZ4X just pulled in there. That post is broken. We'll go check out this post. This is broken. This has been broken for a while. I don't know what's going on. It says it's working. Well, it's out of order. Yeah, it's been tagged out. And the Mini is up over here. I quite enjoy driving this car. Like I said, I haven't driven it really in a while since we've got the Fiat 500e. But this is a bit nicer car to drive. I should do a comparison comparing both of them. So we've been here 13 minutes 30 seconds. Let's stop this. 24 kilowatts. It's really ramped down. I actually went inside and got a bottle of water. I don't drink enough water on these trips. That unclicked. Let's put this in here. This cable weighs a lot. And this is a RIMAFlex EV cable. Yeah, these things are heavy as AF. We'll close up here, grab the water, precious water. Like I said, I don't drink enough water on these trips. We'll jump in here. And let's see. It makes all the funny spaceship noises. And we'll see what we have for... I already know this route quite well, but I just want to show you what route we're going to take. So we'll hit up anything changed that way. Overview 167. I don't think we'll go that way. I think we'll go up this way through St. Andrews and head to Ottawa. We'll have to cross Ottawa. And there's a charging site at a Ford dealer I kind of want to check out in Ottawa. It might be open to all cars, so we'll go and check that out. Let's get back on the road. That was a roughly 13 or so minute charge. So just an update here. We are stuck behind this truck. I don't know if you can see it. We're on the 138 in Ontario. It is showing 1 hour to arrival, 87 kilometers, 68% state of charge. The GOM is saying 126 range remaining, but yeah, that's roughly what this car gets, to be honest with you. So we went up to what, 87%, 88%. This car roughly burns 10% state of charge per 20 kilometers on the highway. That's roughly what my drive is to work. That's roughly what it will be. It could vary, I'd say between 8 to 10% is usually what it takes. So we're within those numbers, and let's just give a little update. We hit 50% state of charge. The GOM is showing 102 kilometers, and we're at 48 kilometers until we get to our destination. So we'll definitely have a little buffer to find charging in Ottawa. Everything is good here. We're just on the outskirts now, just passing the outskirts, and yeah, everything is all right. I've actually backed it down to about 105 while I'm filming this. I was doing about 110, 115. So yeah, we'll take it from there. Just finished here at the car meet in Ottawa. Pretty small group today, but a good group of people like always. These enthusiasts are great here. I love coming to see them a few times a year in Ottawa. Car is at 29% state of charge. It is 32 Celsius outside. It is a hot one outside. We're gonna have to find a place to charge this car now. I'm not too sure where that's going to be, as this Mach-E rolls in over here still with a window sticker on it. Cool. I'm not too sure where we're going to charge. Let's have a look at the PlugShare and see what there is. We're a bit far away from Electrify Canada. So we'll see where we end up. Hopefully there's something on this side of Ottawa and this in Barrhaven. So we'll see how that goes. All right, let's check PlugShare and see what there is. I was looking at going to this follow field park and ride. Let's see what there is here. How far is this? That's actually not that far. One of one available. All right, let's map to here, and we'll go here to Fallowfield Road. It says there's one CCS. So that's going to be one post. So hopefully there's something still open when we get there. What's this one in the PN? Brent Franklin Place. I don't know if that's going to be open. That's a dealership for sure. There's some here in Barrhaven, but I think these are dealers. 3 of 6 available. Doesn't say anything here. Ford charge. You know what? Let's go here to this Ford charge one. If not, we could loop back around and go to the other one. Let's try this one. I went to the Ford dealer, which said it had 3 of 6 CCS1 available. When I got to the Ford dealer, there was none that were available, and I drove around the parking lot a few times, and they were already blocked up by other vehicles. So then I went to the Subaru dealer, which had a Flow 50 kilowatt, plugged in, started charging. It was working out well. A guy comes up to me from Subaru and says, "Hey, we're locking the gate, like now, you gotta leave." I'm like, well, that sucks. So had to come back here, had to unplug at Subaru, come back here, it was empty. Now we're finally plugged in. We're going to go up to like probably 90% here, 95%. I don't really like charging that high on DC fast chargers, especially when you're in this area. But Ottawa is absolutely horrible for DC fast charging, so I'm going to take as much as I can get. We are in the Mini. It is quite a low battery, 28 kilowatt hour usable from 32 nominal. Not bad efficiency. We're getting about 14.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which is pretty good, better than the Fiat. But wow, every time we come here to Ottawa, the charging is absolutely horrendous. And then you're in random places like this charging your car. I'll show you around here in a bit, but this is what happens with EVs. And when you don't have infrastructure in place, is you're wasting a lot of time. And I will admit it, it's a complete time waste, just driving around looking for chargers. Then you end up at one post and and it's busy, or you're not too sure when that person's going to leave. So yeah, this is what sucks about EV ownership sometimes, and I do admit that, especially when everything is behind dealer gates and they're closing up at 1 o'clock on a Saturday. So here we are plugging away. There's no one else here. This is a completely empty parking lot, and that's about it. Nothing's happening. We're plugged into the Add Energy 50 kilowatt post, which is pretty standard. Really ramping down now, 26 kilowatts. Mini's going good, averaging pretty good efficiency. As I mentioned, about 14.6, 14.5 kilowatts per 100. Pretty standard setup. There's some level 2 over there, and yeah, that's about it. This is what sucks about owning an EV sometimes, is there's not enough charging infrastructure, especially in a city like Ottawa, Canada's capital, and it's absolutely horrible. But we enjoy driving the Mini, and it doesn't really come out on long road trips often, but unfortunately this is what it is when you don't have infrastructure in place, especially with a short range EV like this that's more of a city car, is you're running around looking for charging sites. I think we're good. We're at 93%. We're more than enough. Let's get unplugged here. I don't know why the camera does this sometimes. Let's press stop, hold it down. I'm not going to sit here longer than I need to. That's out. We'll clip this back in, and we'll close up the port. Just unplugged here in Barrhaven at the Park and Ride. 93% state of charge. We're showing 162 kilometers of range, so we'll probably head to the 417 to head back home. I will have to stop again for probably 10 minutes. Like I said, I know this car, it is extremely hot outside too. We got the air conditioning going, so we'll probably have to stop for like a 10-minute top up, which is not the end of the world. Like I said, this doesn't happen in all electric vehicles, only this because the battery is very small. If I had, like, let's say something with 60 or 70 kilowatt hour battery, there should be no problem, or a larger battery, it would be back and forth, zero issues. This applies to small cars. That's the whole point of this video, is that this is a small car, and I wanted to show you a little bit of a road trip, what it's like in a small car. Obviously, a smaller battery, you will be charging it more often. It's just a fact of life. So let's get on the road here and head back towards the 417. Finally back on the 417. It was literally 45 minutes from the charging site back to the highway, back to the 417. Ottawa's a terrible place to drive. You have these long straight roads, but instead of having roundabouts, there's just endless lights. So it's like light. But that's the way that they design roads here. You're always at a traffic light, no matter where you are. In the middle of nowhere, they're going to have a intersection with a traffic light, even though there's nothing happening. So we're back on the road. We have it locked in
frustrated with the driving experience. I didn't think it would take that long to get across. It was essentially 15 kilometers, not really far. Anyways, we're here now, 84% state of charge. We burned roughly 10% state of charge in that drive. It's just unreal, just absolutely unreal who comes up with these road designs here. It's so sad. So we'll, I don't know where we'll stop. We have a bailout option in Castleman, Hawkesbury, Rigaud. We'll see where we end up. I'm getting pretty hungry too. I haven't had anything to eat today, so I'm getting pretty cranky, which explains this rant. So yeah, we'll see you wherever we stop. We just hit 50% state of charge. I don't know if you can see it. GOM is showing 95 kilometers remaining. We're at 68 kilometers to Vaudreuil-Dorion. I think that's where we're going to go. We might skip that stop in Rigaud. We'll see how we are, but I think we should be good to go. And everything is good here on the 417. We're still continuing along. And we just passed the charging site in Rigaud. We passed it at 26% state of charge, showing me 62 kilometers home and 46 kilometers on the GOM. I'd go for it, but the issue is there is a lot of traffic going back into Montreal. What a shocker. So I think we'll go to Vaudreuil. There's a new site that's opened up just off of Highway 40 in Vaudreuil. We'll go and check that out, and we'll top up for 10 minutes, because sitting in traffic or sitting charging, it doesn't really make a difference. There's going to be traffic, but I almost want to roll the dice on this one. I almost want to roll the dice. So we shall see. We shall see. If we stop, we stop. If we don't, I'd like to roll the dice to go home at 26% state of charge. How far are we from home, actually? Let's see. We're just at exit 22 now. Sorry, it's exit 17. Google is saying home is 51 kilometers or 50 minutes. Like, it's such a joke getting anywhere in or out of Montreal. Like, it's just so bad. It's just so bad. There's always crashes and stuff. Anyways, enough ranting about that. We'll see where we end up. I don't think there's any good options of getting home, unless I take the 30, but that's going to add an hour onto my trip easily, and I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather sit in an hour of traffic. You join us now at the Circuit Electric site here in Vaudreuil. This is a brand new site. This just opened, and it's quite the mix of speeds here. So we'll go through it. I stopped because the traffic was kind of backing up on the bridge. Got here 17% state of charge, and I figured I sit here or I sit in traffic. It's the same thing. Hopefully the traffic dies down. So let's give you a little site tour. We have the Mini charging up right now on the 50 kilowatt post. We're pulling 45 kilowatts. This should max out around 50, as I keep mentioning. But we also have a 120, a 180, a 180, and a 180. This is a new site that opened up here. We're obviously using the 50 kilowatt post because I don't want to block these up. Even though there's nobody here, we still want to be nice. But we will pick up these cables because I am a nice guy. We'll put these in here because I'm a nice person. I don't even know why they're out. I don't think it was the wind that blew these out. But yeah, once again, we have 380 kilowatts, a 120 and 50. So it's pretty much, and these are shared power here. These will do power sharing, 90 kilowatt split. Let's go check out this power equipment here in switchgear. This is all brand new Circuit Electric here. Let's see if we can get any specs off of these things. No specs on them. Maybe around this side. No, nothing at all. No plates on them or nothing. I don't even see the transformer around here. It's probably coming down. It's probably coming down from there, actually. But pretty cool site. We'll stay here a few minutes and we'll take off. I think we are pretty much finished here charging. We're here a bit too long. I was checking out all these ID4s which are just sitting here. Hopefully they'll be able to sell those. Let's stop the charge. So this is all ABB over here. We'll stop the charge. This should be ready to go.
put this back in here. So we did roughly 15 minutes, almost 11 kilowatt hours, which is a bit too much. I think we were here a bit too long, but it's all good. Pretty cool site, right up Highway 40, and of course the traffic has, we'll zoom in a bit. The traffic has started, so my plan has failed, but I'm used to that by now. Let's go home. We're back home. I decided to film this in my back garden because I am exhausted. I already have my can of Bitburger open. So, short range EV, can you do these trips? Yes. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. Even I will admit that. I find if you're going a lot on road trips, maybe get yourself something that has a bigger battery and could charge faster, so you're not stuck, but you're not killing yourself with all these charging stops along the way. I mean, today we drove 422 kilometers. That's a drive we do often, so I already knew what I was expecting. Would I take the Mini out on a trip across country? Absolutely not. Would I take my Fiat out on a trip across country? Absolutely not. They work for where we live. We live in the city. We don't really do that many road trips, so it's a bit of a compromise. We'll deal with it. But if you're doing these long distance trips and just a lot of long distance driving, as that A321 passes overhead, yeah, if you're doing a lot of these long trips, a lot of long distance driving, get something with a bigger battery, something that could charge a lot faster, because otherwise it's kind of pointless. If you're taking one trip a month, yeah, go for it. Get the smaller car. They're a lot nicer to drive. But if you're doing this on a weekly basis or 2 or 3 times a week, get yourself a Model 3, a Polestar 2, something like that. And again, we showed you the charging infrastructure in Ottawa is terrible, but we already knew that from previous videos. So as I said, we drove 422 kilometers. There was about an hour of charging in that, and I'm also including the time that I wasted going to 2 charging sites to only go back to the original one. We did 3 charging stops, although I don't think we had to do that final one. If there was no traffic, I probably wouldn't have stopped. All in all, we're about, for that distance driven, we're about $35 in charging, which is not too horrible. I mean, it is what it is. Actually, not even $25 in charging. What am I saying here? $35. And that's it. That's all I can say. I don't think I could add much more besides the obvious, where obviously you have a smaller battery, you're not going to go as far, and you're not going to charge as fast. So, key tip of consumer notes on that. So we'll leave it there, and that's it. We'll see you in the next video.